Hello?
Dude, I had my microphone off. It wasn't you.
Oh,
It was me.
I got this new phone. I'll tell you what. It's the name of the company. And there's this one location here, which is full of foreigners. I'm not going to say what kind, but they're scammers. And they gave me the shittiest phone. They're like, you're eligible for an upgrade. So they give me another phone, but it's a piece of shit. I'm like, this ain't an upgrade. And then my son tells me, well, it's basically a discount. It's not an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him I called the corporate office and I said, when an old fart like me walks in the fucking store and you say you're going to give him an upgrade, give him an upgraded phone because I don't know any better. And until I get that piece of shit home,
You don't know any better?
The shit, then I know it's a fucking piece of shit dinosaur asshole fucking phone.
Wow.
And then they're like, oh, we're sorry about that. I'm like, don't call it an upgrade if it's not an upgrade. It's not an upgrade. It's a fucking scam. It's a discount.
I just made a TikTok video and I added music for the first time. So
Really?
Yeah, my daughter was like, dude, you got to add music to your TikToks. And I'm like, and what's funny is I get more views than she does. So she's giving me advice. And because my shit's clever, that's why. That's the key to the whole TikTok thing.
Yeah.
Is you got to come up with something. Like I write a little saying that I'm thinking about. You know how I'm always thinking about some weird saying? Or I think about something, so I just write it in there and I just videotape myself. And
right.
I get a lot of views from that, so I'm trying to grow my views.
You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to wrap it around the fact that if I'm in the right bathroom or not anymore. Is this a unisex bathroom?
You know what's funny? You're bringing that up. I got a list of shit I want to talk about, and that's one thing. It's like I was reading this article, like, 'cause I'm pretty liberal. I would say even compared to you, I'm like way more liberal than you. I mean, wouldn't you say that's true? Yeah. Well, this whole sports, this whole trans sports thing has got me so pissed off. It's like I've heard so much about it lately, especially down here in Florida because they're passing a law to ban it, and I'm, even though I'm liberal and I don't mind if you're trans or whatever, you do what you want, but to give guys the green light to go play in women's sports is just totally wrong.
Well, they've been playing women's sports, taking it.
So listen to this. I was reading this article, so I've been looking for a lot of information about this on why it shouldn't happen, right? I mean, because if you're a girl and you spend your whole life trying to perfect your sport, and then all of a sudden you got to compete against some guy, you know, you're never gonna keep up. And yeah. I was looking up some examples, like, you remember Chris Evert Lloyd? She was she was like #1 tennis player in the world, right? Yeah. And in her memoir, she writes that her brother was a low-level college tennis player. Never even made it to the pros. He was a low-level college player. When she was #1 in the world of women's tennis, he could beat her regularly. Every day almost, he could beat her. And he wasn't even a ranked tennis player.
Yeah.
And look at Serena Williams. Serena Williams, I consider to be a pretty tough woman. I mean,
I think she's good.
I'm pretty sure she could kick my ass if we were in a fist fight. She couldn't beat a 220 level player in men's. Even though she's the best women's player that ever played the game, she went up against some dude who was ranked 220, and he beat her, just crushed her. And he didn't even try. He, like, drank a couple beers before the game, they said. And,
really?
Yeah. So you're expecting some girl to go against some trans dude. There's cases all over the country right now where trans dudes who turn into a woman are beating, like, women's track records that have lasted, like, 20 years in some states in high school. It's like these track records have lasted forever. These guys come in the first year and beat the record, all-time record for the state. The first time they do it. It's like, where is the fairness in this? There's just...
They have to have
You could be trans, but you still have to compete against the boys. Sorry.
This would be fair. They have to box a man first. In boxing.
It's bullshit.
As soon as they get box Mayweather, then they could be in the women's sport.
I'm just saying there's no reason why these men should compete against girls. I'm not saying nothing against girls. I mean, I'm for equal rights, but it's a physiological thing. There's no real way, that's why they have separate sports. There's no way women can keep up with men in these sports. There hasn't been a single woman ever in the history of golf that I can recall that when they played on the men's PGA Tour that they made the cut. They didn't even make the cut. And we're talking about Michelle Wie. We're talking about top golfers who get sponsors exemptions to play in men's tournaments. They can't even make it past day 2. And there's a reason for it. They can't hit a drive 320 yards, and these guys are all crushing at 320 every time they hit it. If they hit a 280, I mean, that's like a woman crushing it, and that's 40 yards back on every hole.
Yeah, right.
It's stupid. It's stupid to think that we have to accept certain things.
Well, you know what, dude? A lot of this shit is created purposely so our government can laugh at these motherfuckers while they're stealing millions and millions of dollars. That's what they do.
It's not even the government. It's these extreme leftists. It's like, I don't mind liberals, but we have a group of liberals. We have this group of liberals now that are so extreme. They're like the cancel culture people. They're like changing the name of grade schools, Lincoln Grade School, because Lincoln was racist or something. I mean, the dude freed the slaves. You're going to change the name of a grade school from Lincoln Grade School because of some... I mean, are they going to rewrite history every 30 years?
January 1st every year, this next year, here's what we need to do. We need to sit down, change all the names, take down all the fucking statues, and let's just be done with it, you crybaby pussy-ass bitches.
Yeah. And you know what? We need to take down... If we're going to take down all those statues, then we need to take down the Martin Luther King statues. We need to take down the statues of Gandhi.
You know, Obama put up more statues than any president of himself. I mean, what an arrogant fuck he is. Who gives a fuck about Obama? He couldn't have went away so fast that it wouldn't make this world any a better place, man.
I'm telling you right now, there's no reason to change history every 20, 30 years. It's stupid.
Well, the Chinese were slaves. The Jews were slaves. Let's take down every statue on the planet. Let's take down the Statue of Liberty for crying out fucking loud.
Yeah, let's take down the statue. If we're going to take down all these statues, take down the Statue of Liberty.
Stole this country from the Indians. Why do we have the right to have a statue? You know what happened the other day?
Take down the Statue of Liberty. That should be our new campaign.
Check this out. There is no liberty. Why have the fucking finger? At least put her hand down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Check this out. A friend of mine, she says, "Oh my."
She should be. You know what? They should change it and where she's just holding up her middle finger.
Oh no! Wait, they should change.
Instead of that torch, she's just got her hand up and her middle finger's up.
Because she might be a man.
Maybe she is a man. I don't know.
Maybe she's a trans testicle.
I think she's a they, not a he or a she. She's a they.
I'm so tired of people. I don't want to identify. You know what?
I don't want to identify.
You don't have to. I already identified you as a fucking weirdo. How about that?
I don't want to identify.
I'll identify you as a fucking weirdo. How about that? You don't want to be a man or woman? How do you masturbate?
I don't want to be a man or a woman either. Fuck.
What about, you know, these men and women bathrooms are combined? What about the other?
Yeah. We're
going to have to add other to the sign.
I like to go in the family bathroom because then you're all by yourself. You got your own little sink. You got your own.
Table you can pull down and lay down and take a nap.
I'm all for the family bathroom.
The family bathrooms have the changing tables. There's a little seat with a seat belt, so if you have to shit and you have your kid with you, you can sit him in the seat and buckle him in. One time, listen. Do this. That sucks.
One time, my whole life, my daughter, you know, I had to raise a daughter as a dad, you know, and you're by yourself a lot. Your wife works, whatever. you can't go, she's 4 years old. You can't go and bring her in the men's bathroom, and then you don't want to leave her alone in the women's bathroom. It's like, what do? You're like standing out the women's bathroom door yelling, "Are you okay in there?" It's like a real problem when you're dad. And for years, I was real careful about not letting my daughter, when she got old enough to understand what junk was, to see my junk, I didn't want her to be traumatized or nothing. So
Yeah,
I was real careful, like I wore a bathing suit when I went in the shower with her. And so one time, listen to this though. So I was real careful. So she's about 4 years, no, she might have been 4 or 5 years old. So I decide, I'm at the aquarium, and I decide I'm going to go to the family bathroom because I didn't want to let her go alone. So I go in the family bathroom. I let Brian go, and she goes. And so then I'm like in this bathroom, and I tell her, I'm like, stand up against the door with your back up against the door, and I'm going to pee because I had to pee, So I'm standing there peeing, and just as I start to pee, she makes a beeline from the door, turns around and takes a quick look. It's like her curiosity had gotten the best of her, obviously, through the years, and she just fucking ran real quick and looked real quick. I was like, what the fuck? That kid is crazy. Oh, I almost peed all over the whole damn bathroom trying to fucking push her back.
No, I was saying when I found out that my daughter was en route, let's say, I was like, fuck, now I gotta wear pants. If I get up to get a beer at night, I gotta put pants on.
Yeah, you don't want to surprise them, you got a 4-year-old, 5-year-old daughter, you don't want to traumatize her.
I couldn't believe that was the worst part of the whole thing, was transforming into having to put my fucking pants back on.
Yeah, daughters, it's weird when you're a dad and you got a daughter and you're by yourself. Fucking a lot of issues there.
Well, it depends, because sometimes, like, I would go to talk to my daughter, and she'd be like, what do you want to know?
Yeah. I know, my daughter is there's a lot of wind in the background, dude. Killing me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, she's way too forthright with information. Half the shit she tells me I don't want to hear. I'm like, keep that shit to yourself.
Keep that to yourself. About herself, you mean?
Yeah, just too much. Oh. Too much information.
Yeah, pretty much. There's no filter on me at all. Like, when I met my son-in-law, he came in like, you remember when you meet the dad for the first time? Hi, Mr. So-and-so. How are you today? Making talk, and he's thinking he wants to just wring your fucking neck. You could just tell by the look on his face. But he comes in and he's like, hi, Mr. Media, blah, blah, blah. And my daughter goes, oh, he has no filter. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about him.
This hi, Mr. Evan shit.
I took her on one of them airboat Everglades rides.
You mean it was a bunch of Democrats?
Yeah. Yeah, I was on an airboat, and they cruise around the Everglades, and you see gators and shit, and God,
did you feed?
What a life, though. Being an airboat driver is your job. Yeah, and each run, because they get tipped, each run you get like about $60 of tips and shit.
That wouldn't be fun.
So you don't think it would?
It's babysitting a bunch of whiners that are scared of the water and alligators.
I don't know, make $300 a day to just fucking cruise around on an airboat all day? I'd fucking do that.
Well, it depends on if the gas is included, because you could burn $300 in gas in a day and no problem.
Well, it's a company, they just ride the airboat. They charge you, it's like $45 to ride the airboat.
A person?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
It was $90, the whole thing.
I'd just go buy a boat.
Go buy an airboat. I should look on Marketplace and see if there's any airboats for sale.
I looked up, there was like 6 people. We all decided, this is a while ago, why don't we just go paddleboarding? Because there's a lake over here where we always see these, I'm assuming they're moms with their kids at the beach paddleboarding. So by the time I look it up, for 6 people, it was like $380, man, to rent a paddleboard, get in first pay to get into a public park that we paid for. First do that part.
Yeah, I got that here.
All that shit and pay to park in our own park we bought with our money. By the time it was done, I swear to God, it was like almost $400. I'm like, how much are these paddleboards? Why don't we just go buy a couple of these fucking things?
Go buy a paddleboard instead. That's what I want to do. I gotta just buy one.
Yeah, fuck paddleboarding, dude. If it doesn't have an engine, I don't want to even be in it.
Yeah.
Paddling around. You're like, oh, I see you bought a boat. I bought a boat.
I'd rather for the whole airboat thing. I mean, I'd rather just pay to drive an airboat. That's what the whole thing should be. Drive an airboat for $40.
I mean, you go. Here's the problem with boating and being a passenger like that. You're like on a track basically. You're gonna go through the course that he's decided you're going on, and blah blah blah. Like fucking ride at Disney World, no big deal. But to be able to like get on a boat and drive it yourself where you want to go. See, the problem with that is, you know how many people would be stuck out in Everglades if you gave an amateur airboat?
Well, we rented a boat. I went with my mom and her boyfriend. We rented a pontoon boat, and and of course he's driving it, and and he gets the boat stuck in the middle of the bay. And we're stuck there. I mean, you got it wedged way in there. It's like, I can see what you're saying. Then we're like, what do we do, Call the people, they come get you?
Yeah. What happened?
I was like, fuck it. I jumped out and I pushed us out. They couldn't believe it. Everybody on the boat was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm jumping in. Fuck it. I just jumped in and fucking pushed us out. I don't care. I'm not afraid of that shit. I mean, the most that's going to happen to you is a shark's going to bite you, or you stingray, or I don't know. That's going to happen anywhere in the ocean.
Bull shark is the number one attacker of people. They think they're worried about great white. Worry about bull sharks. They're fucking 15 feet long, dude.
Tiger sharks are freaking nasty and mean.
Yeah.
But you're right, bull sharks too. But tiger sharks are nothing to fucking look up a tiger shark. There's probably more tiger shark attacks than any shark.
A bull shark is able to go in brackish water and also fresh water, and they swim up these rivers that are emptying into the ocean, and they'll find them a mile or two up a freshwater river. You're swimming in the river thinking everything's cool. What? There's a couple bullheads and there's a bull shark.
I can't let shit like that bother me. Like,
I can't.
If you go in the ocean, you're taking a chance. That's just... Shit could happen or it won't, You could get pulled out by a riptide.
You're swimming in the shark's kitchen.
Yeah, you can't see. It's this sense of like security you got because you can't see in there, but all kinds of shit's going on in there that you can't see. Your head's up above the water.
And the older you get, the more you begin to realize how dangerous it is. As a kid, you're just out there like, damn,
yeah.
Parents put you out on a hook. They might as well put a hook on it.
Throw you out there. You're right. As you get older, the more shit scares you. It's like, we
told our parents, we're like 10, 12 years old. We're going to get our boats, our inflatable rafts, tie them all together, and we're going to drift out a couple miles.
We would drift so far out, I remember, that the buildings were like the size of a Lego.
That was like them winning the lottery, parents. You're going to drift out 2 miles offshore on a rubber raft?
Yeah.
Go for it. I don't think my parents wanted me.
No. That gave them time alone, They could time how much time alone they had.
I let my 10-year-old kid drift out 2 miles in the fucking ocean, dude. I wouldn't even let him up like 10 feet out there.
Oh, when I'm at the beach, I go to the beach a lot. And when I'm there, sometimes I see some kids running towards the water, and I think, man, I'm going to have to jump up here in a minute and save this kid if I have to.
You know what? If someone goes, I bought a boat, and then you're like, oh yeah, what kind? Well, it's like a Coleman canoe. It's like, you're one of them fucking can't decide what you are, aren't you? So you're afraid to get something with a motor, right?
I don't know. There's a lot of maintenance involved there. A lot of maintaining.
Yeah. Exactly. See, you're not going. That was my rule. The first person that says how much my boat costs sits on the shore, and then while we're out there skiing, having a good old time, we're waving at his dumbass. Of course it's expensive. Is a movie free? No. Is fucking Disney World free? No. It costs money to recreation.
You know, somewhere out there's a giant freezer full of Klondike bars.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know if that's where they pack them or something, but there's like huge freezer full of them. I want to spend the night there.
What would you do for one of those Klondike bars?
I don't know, but I just think a lot of things too. I look at a TikTok, I see a lot of people, they're like, 5 things that show that you're an overthinker. And then they list like
I'm an overthinker for sure.
Overthinker. It's like, what's an overthinker? I mean, do you think more than people? Is it
someone that actually thinks?
Is an overthinker?
In Colorado anyway.
I'm thinking, when I wake up, I start thinking, and then by the time I go to bed, I'm still thinking. I can't over that. That's just like, you're just a thinker. There's no overthinker.
You know what?
That doesn't even make sense.
That's what it is. Because you could walk up to someone you know is an underthinker and say, think about this real quick. And then tell them a subject and ask for their opinion. And then when they're done, you say, I thought of 20 things while you were just thinking of that one. And
Jeez. 5
of them were smashing you in the face.
I think that they're the same person's thinking. They're just thinking about other things. There's no overthinking.
Everybody thinks different. Everybody. Nobody thinks the same. So as far as I'm concerned, everybody, 100% of the people other than me are wrong.
Wow.
Because listen to this. They're like, trust your doctor, trust your doctor, trust your doctor, trust your doctor. Sounds like brainwashing, sounds like brainwashing, sounds like brainwashing. And then I put a picture on the internet of the bracelet I had when I was born 52 years ago. Now, you think I'm smarter than a doctor 52 years ago? Fucking right I am. But you trusted the doctor 50 years ago. You trusted a government that drove around with trucks of DDT and sprayed them on your kids in the park.
And we used to ride our bikes. Remember, we used to ride our bikes
in the... You trusted a doctor.
We were riding our bikes in that smoke.
Yeah. You trusted a doctor that when I was born,
crazy.
Okay, put beads and a piece of lead to crimp a string on my wrist on an infant. What a dumb fuck. Put lead on a baby. Right?
Yeah.
Were they trying to fuck your head up as the day you were born? Was that part of the plan?
Because well, that's what they said happened to Beethoven. You know, he was drinking wine out of a lead cup.
Were they trying to retard kids back then, dude?
We just didn't know about lead. That was the thing.
Yeah, so, and we don't know about COVID now, do we? 50 years
about the
from
vaccine?
Now, maybe 50 years we'll know from now. But 50 years ago, a doctor didn't know better than to put beads on a baby. 1, choking hazard, and 2, lead. Come the fuck on here. They didn't even spell my name right. They left out a Z.
They did?
And maybe they were out of Z's. Like they're using Z's all the time. How many Zacharys are there? You think there'd be a big pile of fucking Z's?
They left one of your letters out?
Yep. So we're talking about fucking... And why are all the villains in comics doctors? You ever think of that? Because they're smart and they're overthinkers and they've got a plan.
There's no such thing as overthinking.
They are overthinking most people if they got them to fall for all this bullshit, dude. Why don't I have a fucking polio card saying I got my polio shot, dude?
Wow. I got a card that says I got my COVID vaccine.
Yeah, that's so they can control you because...
Dude, no. Here's what you get. You can get a free Krispy Kreme donut. Yeah. Did you know that? So I can go in with my COVID card right now, and I could get a Krispy Kreme donut for free.
I will never eat a Krispy Kreme donut for the rest of my life because of that.
Wow.
I guarantee it. I will never eat a Krispy Kreme donut because they're part of the problem. They're corporate bigwigs that are making billions off of this pandemic because everything went up in price. They're fucking handing checks to prisoners and people that have been sitting on their ass for 20 fucking years, but they can't give a check to the dude that's actually working.
Yeah.
The IRS is like, we're backlogged on your refund. Fuck you and your $1,000 check. Fill out the fucking paperwork and give me my refund. Care about your $1,000, $600, man.
I got all mine.
What does that pay for? A day in the park?
I can't remember. I bought some patio furniture.
They screwed a lot of people. Oh, trust me.
Hold on, let me think.
Right.
Oh, I've had to fix my air conditioning on my car.
I know 10
$700, dude, to fix my air conditioning.
I know 10 people that got nothing. So where's that money at? They gave it to some dude that just crossed the border. Oh, and by the way,
didn't.
These motherfuckers they just let walk in this country. Where's the copies of all the vaccines that we've had?
Listen, they can't even pick the crops in the field right now because of this. This guy was willing to pay, I'm not kidding, he was willing to pay $18 an hour to have people pick his asparagus. He couldn't get anyone to show up to do it.
Because that's fucking poor money, dude. You can't live on $18 an hour unless you're in fucking Alabama where they give you a house because the cockroaches will carry you out the front door every day.
That's bullshit. A lot of money. Trust me, that's a lot of money to pick asparagus. I'll do it. On the weekends, I'll do it.
In order to own a house in Denver, you have to make $100,000 a year. Why is that fair? Why is that fair?
I don't know. It's free economy, market economy, or what is it called? What kind of economy do we have?
Yeah, but they regulate every dime you spend, but not the wigs that are fucking jacking price. Dude, everything went up in price, man. Even McDonald's, they even saying they have the fucking dollar menu because that shit's fucking been long gone.
When's the last time you've been to McDonald's?
I go there all the time. You know what?
What do you get there?
Well, a double cheeseburger doubled in price since the pandemic. Doubled.
A double cheeseburger doubled in price?
Yep. It's been the same price for 30 fucking years, and it doubled in price. So you tell me what's going on.
It's because of a shortage of commodities. That's the problem.
Or how is there a shortage all of a sudden? Nothing fucking changed, but people believe the TV.
Huh.
If no one had a TV, there wouldn't even be a coronavirus.
There wouldn't?
No.
I don't know about that.
If less than 500,000 people died in the United States of America of the coronavirus, which is still, if that's the case, I'm not saying the coronavirus doesn't exist, but if that's the case, how come they never mentioned that 500,000 people die in hospitals annually from negligence in America, in the United States of America every year? Not even a mention of one of those people, but that more people die from that than the coronavirus. And how many of those are getting swept under the rug now of corona? Those accidents. And this is speaking from someone that's experienced the shit.
Experienced it?
Doctors, okay, I got hernia surgery. Okay, they fixed that.
Oh, my son, did I tell you my son just had hernia surgery a couple weeks ago?
I'm not downplaying 100% of what they do, but you do have to think in your mind that there is a little mad scientist behind some of these really smart people that they're psychologists, dude. They're all everything. They say something and you jump. Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. I'll give you a fine example. I go in, my son's neck swells up. He's like 4 years old. Freaked me out. I take him in a doctor. The kid was fucking 10 years younger than me, the doctor. He fucking never seen nothing like that before. Gives me this radical fucking antibiotic that's a 5-dose thing that's brand new, ching ching, that they're paying him to fucking sell. And it cost me $89 for my insurance. Any other antibiotic before that, $5. This thing's $89 motherfucking dollars. So what do? Because I'm a dad, and the doctor told me to do this. I fucking get that fucking antibiotic. Well, the next day, same fucking thing happens. I bring him in. The doctor's 20 years older than me. I walk in the door. He goes, "That's the mumps." I'm like, "What? I never seen the mumps, but I'm not a doctor. If I had seen it once, I would know what it was." This young punk never even seen the mumps. he never even knew what it was. The mumps, bro. That isn't like some fucking far out Congo fucking coronavirus bullshit. So he goes, I don't even know why he gave you that. And he gives me a different antibiotic. So I have to go pay the $5, which wasn't a big deal. It was the point. I went right to the administration office and I demanded they take that other bill off of my insurance. She goes, you don't pay for it anyway. I'm like, yes, I do. My rates are relative to your fucking bullshit. If I got to go to the doctor twice for the same thing, it's going to cost me more in my insurance overall, and it's going up and up and up. And this is back when my insurance wasn't shit like today, bro.
Oh,
and
yeah. One time my wife,
they have scammed us.
My wife one time gets what do you call it, a root canal. And then, but the dentist, he wasn't like great at root canals, so he didn't do it all the way, right? So he fucked it up.
I believe it.
And he charged us like $1,100, right? Well, so he's like, you got to go to the specialist who's got the special tool that does these root canals the right way, whatever.
Yeah, why would he even try it?
So I told my wife, I'm like, you know what? We need to get the money back. You know, he tried, he failed.
Yeah.
And so my wife went there, and they thought she was crazy at first. Like, no one probably ever came there and said, hey, give me the money back. And
That's
he did. He wrote us a check. He wrote us a check for the money and gave us the money back. But how many people don't have the balls to do that and just let that shit go? Most people do. They just let that shit go.
By my second kid, I brought a whole kit with me. Now, I had insurance, man. They charge, like, for the little fucking sucky thing to suck your boogers out of the nose, they charge you, like, $400 for that in the hospital. It's on your bill. I'm like, how could it be $10,000 to deliver a kid? This kid came out quicker than a fart. And that's $10,000. So I checked the whole bill, and it had all kinds of shit. An orange juice. You know, when they're like,
one time my wife was getting surgery. She was getting surgery, and the nurse says to me, I'm sitting there, and my wife's getting the surgery, whatever. This was a long time ago. She's like, does she want an orange juice? And I was like, no, she doesn't. And I went down to the machine, put $1 in the machine and got a can of orange juice for $1. They were going to charge us probably $300 for that orange juice.
Your insurance company, and you never know it.
I went down there and just put $1 in the machine, got a can of OJ, got a cup, poured it in there, and handed it to her. I'm like, fuck you. There ain't no nurse going to give somebody some orange juice.
So you agree that our government does allow this gouging to happen in the fucking huge corporate sector?
Oh, yeah.
They get their payout. It's like they're getting paid, dude. We need to flush out all those people and start over.
Yeah.
This pandemic proved we don't even need our government. You can't get a driver's license. Maybe we don't need it. You can't get a fucking license plate. Don't need them. You can't get this done. The fucking Capitol's closed. Fucking Biden's talking about building fucking museums, Smithsonian's and shit closed.
I was thinking the other day, since we did our last show, you think all the shit that's happened, right? There was like, Biden got put in. There was an insurrection, remember that? Mm-hmm. What the fuck was up with that? I mean,
also, we have the cop that knelt on George's neck was found guilty in front of the camera. And later they'll fucking let him go. When they come up with another thing to distract these morons, he'll be walking free, dude. Thinking it. They can't convict the cop because they'd have to convict all the cops.
Yeah.
And when you resist arrest, they could kill you. That's the bottom line.
What else happened? Wait.
Bingo.
Can't think of.
Now, granted,
a lot of shit happened.
It's hard to believe any of it because everything's bullshit. Remember what I said? Only what's in my mind counts because we all think different. Everything you see on the media is fake, or it could be.
Listen, I can't believe that dude who went and put his feet up on Pelosi's desk. Remember that? I was like, did he think he was not going to get in trouble? I mean, how dumb are you? First of all, wear a mask at least or something, or hide your face.
The stupid part, I can't even talk about this because
I know the answer to the whole situation, and there's too many morons in the world that would take me seriously and probably try and go do it.
Then don't say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I will say one thing. We definitely, we showed where the missing chromosomes are. Everyone that went down there.
Yeah, definitely.
They're all a bunch of dumbasses. Because first of all, there couldn't have been a leader.
They should have shot them all.
Well, what they should have done was, if they were going to do it. Because now you'll never do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't you see Scarface? He's like, oh, we'll do it again. He's like, no, Tony, they found the bomb, Tony. He's got security up the ass now. There is no next time.
There is no next time.
I told you not to fuck me. And that's when he starts to go, oh, shit. Because he knew they were coming. I told you, don't fuck me, Tony. Right?
Yeah, I don't even know how that happened. How these people...
I don't remember it word for word, but sometimes I just bust out with some Scarface shit. What are you looking at? Huh? You never seen a bad guy before? Yeah, you're just hiding.
I don't think, though.
You're no different than me. You're just hiding. Well, take a look at this bad guy, because it's the last time you're going to see one like him.
It's tougher to do anything wrong nowadays. Because, first of all, everybody with their phones, they videotape everything. You can't do anything wrong. So.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem we have.
Listen, there's an app out there on the market. Like, let's say you got an old cell phone you're not using, right? You could take your cell phone and put it, like, on your mantle and use it as a security camera. It's like, you don't even need to go buy security cameras. Just take all your old phones, put them around your house.
They got a program that plays like a decibel that's through the roof that makes mice and rats run away. You put it on your phone, just turn it on, and if there's mice in your house, you'll hear them run.
You know what? There's something similar for teenagers. You ever hear this?
It's called work.
No, there's this sound, like frequency, that when you grow up you can't hear it anymore. It's not like, you can't even hear it anyway. It's like something that goes in your brain. And so they put these generators to keep kids from hanging around places. They put these things up.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
I'm not joking with you. There's this tone that makes teenagers go uncomfortable.
When I go by the Top Shop in this one town over here, I get this ringing in my head, dude.
Yeah. There's something to that. Yeah, no, there could be something to it. So they put this.
Somebody told me, don't you you hear ringing? And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. I'm like, I thought I was just crazy for a minute.
Yeah.
But it turns out they're fucking with you every way they can. And there's nothing you can do. Look what happened to Snowden. He's even famous and can't do shit. They have what they call, probably it's called the shut up crew. They're like, they encourage you to be quiet about things, you know. It's better off left unknown. You know how that works?
Yeah, it's an anti-teenager security device, it's called.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need to come up with an anti-asshole security device. The problem is, I feel like that dude in Twilight Zone where I'm by myself now and fucking I'm the only one left on the earth. I tell people when I meet them, I'm like, hi, my name's blah, 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 and
it says here, listen to this. I'm reading this online according to this NPR.org article, which I got to say. It says in Philadelphia, 30 parks and recreation centers are outfitted with a small speaker called the Mosquito. It blares a constant high-pitched ringing noise all night long, but only teenagers and young adults can hear it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. And
so when you think you're trying to whisper on your kids, they hear everything. They're like,
anyone over age 25 is supposed to be immune because basically their ear cells have started to die off. So, and they put these little speakers up. You can see them. They look like a little...
Wow.
I'm not making this up.
That changed the whole fucking meaning of discipline. Don't say you didn't hear me.
I'm in security, so I know about this shit, but Most people have no idea that something like this exists.
Okay. Is there any other thing like this you need to tell me about?
It's called the sonic weapon.
It's called the sonic date rape drug. We turn this thing on, and she ends up having sex, and she doesn't remember any of it. And then we turn it off, and everything. That's probably happening in the Capitol right now as we speak.
It's like, who votes to allow that? That's just crazy.
To allow what?
Yeah, to allow them to install this shit in parks.
There's so much crazy shit. You know what? I think now, at my age, I really don't give a fuck anymore. I've reached that point. So, I've done enough. I've done 10 people's lives. They'll never touch. I've done shit. They'll never be able to touch what I've done. So, I feel that I'm fulfilled. I can't, unless I had a real lot of money, could I ever peak higher than where I've been, you know? So now I'm winding down, like, headed down to the simple shit. As simple as I can make it, where at one point I was striving for a boat, all this bullshit. I'd rather just have a boat, maybe one jet ski, not all the crazy shit, trailers, big house, all that fucking maintenance. I might just make an island out of 50-gallon drums.
Wow. Go float with the garbage in the ocean.
You ever see that? Those people that do that?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
This one dude used like 2-liter bottles, like 50,000.
But how do you get food? What do? Do you fish?
It floats around. You just float up to shore and get out and go to the store. It's like a boat.
Sleep there at night? That's what you do?
Dude, look it up on the internet. They're fucking awesome, dude. It's like you own your own little fucking island. Fucking floating out there. I guess you watch the weather real close. 'Cause you might want to get the fuck out of that area.
Yeah.
If a hurricane or weather's coming.
Wow.
But, I mean, that would be the hardest part, I think. Because you couldn't just anchor it permanent. Eventually, you're going to get weather that's going to demolish that.
Oh, yeah.
This year.
At least once, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially down here.
It's going to start raining here at noon till midnight tomorrow.
I don't think it rained there.
It's gonna.
Huh.
The weather's crazy here. It could pour rain. I mean, pour. And 10 minutes later, everything's dry. The streets are dry. There's no puddles. There's no puddles here at all. If you told a kid, go play in a puddle, they'd be like, what?
What's a puddle?
It doesn't even puddle. It just dries. It's totally cool. It's ruined me because I can't stand humidity and insects now. There's no bugs.
You couldn't stand the humidity here then. Today it's so freaking humid.
Fucking way I could do it, dude.
Yeah.
Right now, in this summer here, middle of the summer, okay, so you think the mosquitoes would be pumping. You could leave your front door wide open. There's not a fly. There's not a bee. There's no mosquitoes. None of them. If you see a bee, you're like, oh, a bee. Wow. There's nothing. No mosquitoes. Some places have them, but
we got no-see-ums. That's what gets you.
There's no bugs at all. Dude.
Most people never even heard of no-see-ums. Like,
some people that have lived here their whole life, if they went to Florida, they would freak out.
They would probably kill them.
Texas, too.
No-see-ums, man, come out right when the sun comes down, and then they go right up your nose and in your ears.
The big thing here is bed bugs. It's because it's the only bugs they have. It's probably
well, people bring them in, is why.
Yeah.
The visitors.
Well, anyway, they're like all freaked out about bed bugs, and I'm like, bed bugs? You've never even seen bugs. Those little teeny things.
They suck though. Those things are tough to get rid of.
There's no bed bugs in Florida because all the other big predatorial bugs eat them.
They got dogs that sniff out the bed bugs.
They got bugs that eat your stack of firewood while you're watching, and it's getting smaller.
Oh, here, man, it's just...
If you sit down long enough, they'll eat you, probably.
Yeah, and here in Florida, the bugs will probably eat you.
For real. And you're worried about a little bed bug, that little thing. Why don't you squish it?
They eat you, though. The bed bugs eat you when you sleep.
Right. You know what I tell people that have bed bug bites?
I've never even seen a bed bug.
I've seen a couple out here, but this place was infested.
Huh.
I told them, You got bit by bed bugs? Why don't you get your lazy ass up out of bed and do something about it?
If I even saw one, I like you said, you went to a place where they were, I'd throw all my fucking clothes away that day.
You could kill them easy. People just, it's not easy, but there's a way to do it. It's radical and you just have to do it and it's done.
Yeah.
But I mean, people just don't do it. So, I mean, it's fucking plain and simple. People just don't do shit but complain about it. It's like if you complain about something, you're not going to, oh, you want to know? You're worried about the cruise ships that got, fucking PPP loans and they don't even pay taxes? Okay, go fix that now before you mention one more thing. Leave the mentioning of that shit up to people who have shows about it.
Nobody fixes anything.
I tell people this. I say, you know, when I meet them, I say, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a comedian and I'm a real asshole and I'm going to fucking talk shit about you. I'll make fun of you and all that good shit. But I'm a comedian and we have to allow that or we wouldn't have comedians. So, dickhead, here we go. I tell them right from the start. You know how people are fake when they meet a chick or something or meet a new person? They're like, I'm right away. Give you the worst from the start. It's just going to get better now. All the nightmares that you find out later, right? You start off with all those and then come back later a sweetheart. See, really, I'm a sweetheart.
I got to head to the driving range.
I want to play golf bad. I haven't played in 7 years.
God, you wouldn't believe where I live then. You'd freak when you saw this.
I should come down there, huh?
Yeah, I can play real cheap now too.
I gotta rent something though, like a houseboat or some shit.
You gotta get the vaccine.
Fuck, I'm not getting no vaccine.
Yeah, you are. Just go sign up and get it.
I'm not.
Do it today.
Hell no.
Get your free Krispy Kreme donut.
Dude, I haven't been sick since I went to the doctor 20 years ago. Haven't been sick at all. Fuck that shit. Dude, I agree they fixed you. They fixed my hernia, my broken leg, shit like that. But they do have, it's a business. You know? If you're a pet store, let's just say this. Say you're a pet store and you got all these pets and people come in, they're checking out your pets. They're like, oh, cool, a ferret. Oh, look, an iguana. But if all you sold was pets, you're going out of business, bro. Because people aren't just buying pets. They're buying all the shit that goes with pets.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are browsers. It's like almost kind of like
pets are a lost leader is what they are.
Yeah, that's the same thing as the medical industry.
Because they must lose more pets in death, you know. Because I used to work for a pet warehouse, and you know how many hamsters died?
What?
I worked in a pet warehouse, and you know how many parakeets and shit I find dead a day, and how many hamsters and shit? We didn't make any money on that shit.
We're the pets, and they're making money off the pharmaceutical industry, dude.
The parakeets, here's what they would do, like.
You are a parakeet.
They would like, you could see the back.
No, you're actually a guinea pig, dude.
You could see the back of the parakeet's head, like there'd be feathers missing. And you'd be like, what's going on there? All the other parakeets would be picking on that one parakeet until they killed him.
See, here's the thing.
And I could tell, when I came in the morning, I could tell which parakeet was going to be dead the next day. I could just tell by the feathers missing in the head.
Here's the difference between me and the vast majority of the people in this country. When they say, well, it could be possible that if you don't have a COVID card that you're not allowed to go a lot of places. I'll be like, are you kidding me, motherfuckers? Let me tell you something. People want to come hang with me. I ain't looking for shit. Fuck you.
All right, I gotta go.
All right.
All right, bye.